Hi, Marley here, and welcome to the DIY Floral Design Studio, marleysflowers.ca, helping you to discover your flower power to DIY with a professional eye. You can do it. I'm so happy and grateful that you're joining me today. Welcome in. For all those who are new, hi. And for those who are returning, hey. Please do not hesitate to subscribe to the channel, give me a little thumbs up, drop a comment, say hi, Marley. Let me know what you're thinking so that we can grow this beautiful channel together. I will also let you know that currently I do not have a website, nor will I be soliciting you for any funds or services. My blueprints consultations are starting again in August, so that if you are planning a wedding or an event that you're going to be doing your own flowers, you're going to DIY, don't hesitate to drop me a email and we can work on it together. No problem. All right. All right. With all the housekeeping out the way, let's get started. So welcome in, guys. So today I decided to talk about me because when I realized I didn't really introduce myself. My description, bit of my bio is in the description. However, I've never really just said, who I am, what I do, blah, blah, blah. So today I've taken the time to do that. So I have been working in the florist industry for over 25 years. I actually started in 96. I did leave to do other things at, periods of time. So it's been about 25, maybe 30 years that I've been working in the industry solid. I absolutely love it. And I did not start off as a florist. Okay. I started off doing the business administration, all the finances, the payroll, the accounts payable, et cetera, getting government papers ready for, submission and all this stuff. And what happened is that one Valentine's I was working and we had a line that was out the door and around the corner. And my employer came to me and he said, Marty, I need you to help with the flowers. And I said, I can't help you because I don't know what to do. I have no clue what to do. And he said, I'm going to show you and you're going to copy me. So what he did, he started arranging the roses on the table. And he told me, now you just copy what I do. And I said, okay. So I was doing that, not a problem. And then he asked me to wrap them. Wow. I can honestly tell you that some of the ones that I wrapped were not pretty. And don't even mention the bow. I could not make a bow to save my life. So, so I felt bad, but I had to give these arrangements, these bouquets to clients, and they were looking so good, but they didn't complain because listen, I don't think they wanted to wait in line again, and they could not be bothered, so they just took it and they left. So knowing that I'm working in a flower shop and I don't know anything about flowers, I decided that after I finished my duties, that I would take some time and start, trying and start understanding the flowers a little better. So day by day, I would, ask questions and be like, well, why did you put that there? And how did you know that goes there? And why did you use those colors? And da 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 da. And then little by little, I started to understand. So then it was time for me to practice an arrangement. And I can honestly tell you, I spent over an hour trying to make a simple arrangement and I could not get it. So much so that my employer looked at me and said, Yo, you're giving me a headache. Stop, just stop what you're doing, please. So that was fine. So again, back to the drawing board. And I went to try and, just learn the basics again. After that, I started to gain my rhythm and I was doing really well. So I was getting excited. And we had a client who she was a returning client and she trusted us. She loved our work, da da da. And then he asked me to make her an arrangement. Oh my God. So usually the clients wait in the store while you make the arrangement. It takes you about 10, 15 minutes, depending on what you're making. I took about 40 minutes. She was patient. She was very sweet. Okay. And I was like, oh my God, is it good enough? And like, it wasn't that I didn't make it. I made the arrangement, but I kept second guessing myself. I said, oh, should I put this here? Or should I have done this there? And I didn't really know. So he came and he looked, he said, I think it's fine. I think you're done. And I said, how do you know when you're done? He said, you feel it. It's done. So I was like, okay, fine. And I gave it to her. She loved it. And I thought, ooh, okay, this is great. So with a positive reinforcement, I soared on. I remember we had a order for a funeral piece, and it was $100. So I was thinking that, oh my God, it's $100, so it has to be big, it has to be, exquisite, it has to have all these nice, nice flowers in it. Fine. So I made the arrangement. I called the delivery person. They came and got it, took it to the funeral home, no problem. I got a call maybe 20 minutes or half an hour later from the funeral home, and it was a client, and she was screaming, and I mean, taking off my head, screaming. What is this junk you sent here? This looked like something that somebody threw together. It looked like it belongs in a garbage bin, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, whoa. I was like, I could feel myself shrinking, 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 shrinking with each install. I thought, but it couldn't be that bad. Like, it wasn't that bad when it left, right? So I didn't know what to do initially. I apologized. I agreed to give her money back. But then, I don't know, something clicked in my head, and I said, why don't you go and check the arrangement? Because it was almost like time for me to close the shop anyway. So I decided to go and check the arrangement. And I actually, again, my head said, bring extra flowers just in case, okay? So I did so. And I went to the funeral home. I looked at the arrangement. And the young man who greeted me, he said, this arrangement has clearly been dropped. And when I looked at it, I said, yeah, it's been dropped. The flowers were smashed. They were all over the place. And I thought, oh my God. So I quickly fixed it up, added the new flowers, etc., etc. And he came back and he's like, wow. He said, I did not think you were going to be able to salvage that arrangement. And I said, yeah, neither did I, but I had no choice, right? I had to save the company's name as well. So that was fine. The next day, the client called me back. She apologized profusely. She told me the arrangement was beautiful. She said she understood, and she found out from the young man who I was, greeting me at the flower at the funeral home, that the arrangement had been clearly dropped on delivery. And I did a really good job of fixing it, and she thanked me profusely. And so that was like, yes, a good save again. So I mean, as I said, it took me, I was at that shop for about approximately 7 years. I was very blessed that I was able to meet the teacher of my employer. She was from Jamaica, and she came for one of the events we were having here in Ottawa. And she came to the shop, and I met her, and she was telling me, you just have to keep practicing. She helped me build confidence. She showed me a few tricks, and that was really wonderful. So really, I was very, very blessed that I was getting educated and getting paid to get educated in floral design and the job. And it was great. And I absolutely started to love it. And the next shop I went to was actually a wholesaler. And he had a few books, but he didn't have a lot of books. And he said, listen, when you come in my shop, be creative. Do what you want. I want to see your creativity, just do something. And that was really, really good for me. And that's when I really honed my skill. And what I love, absolutely love about floral design is that when I am doing floral design, it's almost like I'm channeling, because I can get a vase. I don't see anything yet. I can grab a few flowers, and I can tell you honestly that it's like an out of body experience. I just start putting things together, and I'm working, and I'm telling you the truth. I don't even know what it's going to look like until I'm done. And then when I see it, I'm like, wow, I did that, and it's amazing. So this is the thing that I want you to feel, and this is why I started this channel, because when you discover your flower power, it's an amazing feeling. You know that something else, the creative force, flower power, is working with you, because the things that you're going to create, out of this world, out of this world. You wouldn't even believe that you did that. And that's why I love floral design. My first love is actually writing. Okay, this is what I always wanted to do since I was a child. I've always written, I've always journaled, I've always written really great stories as a child, and I had them read in class, and I used to be very, very embarrassed, but that's my gift, and I love writing. So that's why I also include books in with my tutorials and everything else, because I also understand that some people, they're good where they don't need, to definitely look at a video. They can just read, and then they can get the information and know what they need to do. All right. So that's who I am. I hope you've enjoyed this segment. These are my books that are available on Amazon, Bose, and FlowerCare. And I also have this one, and I always forget to mention it. And this is just a planner, and it's called the Canadian edition because it has all the Canadian holidays in it. I use it as a journal. I write in my journal because that's what I do. I write in journals. It has a lot of beautiful pictures in it. So if you're a flower lover and you love beautiful pictures and pictures of full colored arrangements, go ahead and get yourself a copy. I know that we are 7 months into the year, that if you need something just to write in a nice journal, go for it. So I thank you for your time. As I said, and I tell you all the time, if I can do it, you can do it. So I hope that you stay with me, discover your flower power, and we grow together so that you too can DIY with a professional eye. Have a wonderful, wonderful day from marliesflowers.ca. Ciao.